Coming up on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing, we'll recap the Cats contest in Corpus Christi, preview a pair against the Amarillo Bulls this weekend. We'll also take a look at the top 5 plays of October, and we'll check in with those one-time Wildcats and see what's going on in this week's alumni update. All that and more is straight ahead on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Welcome to Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Ben Horner with you, and to my left, as always, is head coach John LaFontaine. We're recapping the Wildcats' 2 games in Corpus Christi from last weekend, and we're also looking forward to a 2-game set against the Amarillo Bulls this weekend, and we'll jump right into it. John, it was a loss on Thursday evening for the Wildcats, a win on Friday. What was your general takeaway from those 2 games down on the Gulf of Mexico there?
2 completely different games, Ben, for us. But we'll give Corpus Christi credit first. They really played a good hockey game, a strong hockey game against us Thursday. They just didn't give us much. It was really tough to have any space, any time. We turned the puck over because of that, and we probably could have prepared our guys better for what they brought on at us. But a tough one Friday, and I thought our guys really responded. Tough one Thursday, and then our guys responded much better Friday, because I don't think they played much different Friday. They still, defensively they had good gap against us. They didn't give us much time, but our guys just made better plays, and I thought outworked them to get to pucks on Friday versus Thursday.
Thursday, it got off to a solid start. Kevin Sheridan scores a power play goal in the closing stages of the first period, and it looked like despite the bit of, I don't want to say lazy play, but perhaps lackadaisical play from the Wildcats, seemed like they were going to start moving in the right direction, but then 5 unanswered goals from Corpus Christi really kind of knocked the Wildcats on their heels a little bit. A couple of late goals in the second period gave the Wildcats some life, and they didn't stop competing in that third period. But at the end of the day, the effort was not there over the 60 minutes.
No, the second period cost us it, but it started to cost us late in the first. They were just quicker, There was times that we just weren't responding, transitioning quick enough, and they were hungry. You could see it right off the face-offs. They were jumping and getting to pucks right off the face-offs that we normally would get to, and that got them their first goal late in that first period, right off a face-off. And so they had, we could have easily went in 1-0. Instead, we go into the period with their late goal 1-1, and then they got some odd man rushes. They made some real nice plays on us and capitalized on the odd man rushes that we gave them, and it was tough to crawl out of that. I thought we had a chance. We came on early in the third, and I thought our guys came out with the jump that we needed, and we were putting some pressure on them and getting some quality chances, but that 6th goal by them kind of deflated us.
Yeah, they had a chance early in the third period. Max Reisinger with a good look from in front of the net, but give credit to the goaltender, Andrew Lindgren. He wasn't stellar on Thursday, but he made the saves when he had to, and that's what it takes to win a hockey game, especially at this level. I'm going to work a question in from one of our fans here, John, because it seems like as good a time as any as we're talking about this Thursday game, and this is something that you and I talked about ahead of Friday's contest. This comes from Jim Jeffries, one of the Wildcats' office officials. He would like to know, what effect did having just 2 games in the previous 3 weeks have on the Wildcats in that Thursday game in Corpus Christi?
Yes, you don't like to make excuses, Jim. It's a great question. We tried to do everything we could so that we wouldn't come out the way we did Thursday as best we could. But no matter what you do in practice, it's not going to be exactly game tempo and game pace. You're doing everything you can to try to get that. I think we would have felt it really early on in the game. We would have, been on our heels, and that's what was interesting. Was those first 10 minutes? I thought we weren't on our heels. I thought we were playing pretty good. We looked like we had jump, and we looked like we were ready to play. So, just from that start, you'd think that it wouldn't have affected us or shouldn't have affected us at all. So I don't know. If we'd have won the game, somehow came back and won, we probably would have said it didn't affect us at all, right? But we still outshot them. But we just gave up too many quality chances, and we just weren't very sharp, missing passes. We're just off by a little bit, and so you don't want to make excuses. Your schedule is what it is. You have to find a way to work around it. But we weren't, as far as throughout the game, we weren't as sharp as we needed to be. Our letdowns really cost us.
So the Wildcats come back the next night looking to salvage a split against the Ice Rays, and they do just that in a 3-1 win that could not have been more separate from the effort and the output that we saw from the Wildcats, and indeed the Ice Rays from the night before. Corpus Christi, not nearly the same fluidity to their offensive attack. Meanwhile, the Wildcats, John, it seemed like there was a hunger and an intensity in their play from the opening faceoff that, as you had alluded to, was lacking on Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for consistency, and our guys played the way we needed to play on Friday and the way we had been playing in a lot of the games. But we had two games in a row. I would put that Amarillo game where it was 8-5 shootout, and then the Corpus game where they beat us 7-4, where defensively you just can't give up those kind of quality chances and expect to win a hockey game. It's like in football, turning the ball over 3 or 4 times and still expecting to win. You can play really well, but if you give up those odd man rushes, you have those lapses, it's going to cost you.
We talked about this before the game on Friday, John. 12 goals against in 2 contests heading into that Friday game against Corpus Christi, and I asked you if you were concerned at all about a regression. We've talked about the developmental curve that comes along with moving up to this level as a defenseman, and you said you weren't so much worried about a regression, but you were looking to see more compete, especially in the defensive zone.
Right.
In your opinion, did your team show that on Friday night?
Yes. Our back check was much better. Our defense rely on our forwards to help them, right? And if all night long all they're seeing is 3-on-2s coming at them, it's pretty tough for them to get up and take away time and space and ice from the opponent. So they were the first ones on the bench saying, "Guys, great job. It's much easier on us." And so they played as 5-man units, and the forwards were doing a much better job not turning the puck over in critical areas at their blue line. And then when we had to get back, guys were working a lot harder, which we didn't see Thursday.
And of course, the Cats took a 2-0 lead in the second period in that Friday contest. Beg your pardon. Goals from two blue liners, their first career goals. Jeff Baum scored first, and then a minute and 2 seconds later, Shane Kuzmeski made it 2-0. And at one point, it seemed like the Wildcats were kind of going to cruise with this one. They really were dominating the first 30 minutes or so. But then Corpus Christi, they pull one back on Nathan Breyer's goal from the slot, and all of a sudden the Wildcats had their work cut out for them. In your opinion, John, for your money, how did your team cope with that pressure? How did they respond to that goal?
Well, we kind of put ourselves in that position. We had a couple of shifts where we stayed out there too long. Guys were a little tired and couldn't get off, or didn't get off, and then we got penalties. So we ended up getting 2 penalties in a row. And on the second one, they had the puck in our end, and our power play expired, and we just couldn't get it out. We had some chances to make plays to at least get the puck out and kind of relieve a little pressure, and we didn't. And you just could feel that something was going to happen from there, and they scored, and they got momentum from that for the last few minutes of the period. But the guys, the way they responded in the third was really strong. I mean, we outshot them, outplayed them, really didn't give them much in the third, got the power play goal. So I was really happy with the way these guys came out in the third. So we had a little bit of a letdown, kind of gave them some momentum, which is what we didn't want to do. But you thought that, okay, if we don't come out in the third, if we try to sit back in the third, we could be in trouble. And our guys did a great job of continuing to take the game to them, continuing to dictate the tempo of the game. Then they started taking some penalties, and I thought from then on the third period was pretty well in our hands, and I give the guys credit for not playing defensive, not sitting back, not panicking.
When you talk about not sitting back, the Wildcats outshot Corpus Christi 19-7 in the third period of that game on Friday, and you allude to the penalty minutes. 4 misconducts in that game by the Ice Rays in that third period. One for the Wildcats, yes, but that game kind of got out of hand fairly quickly. We'll touch on more on that in just a second. So all in all, John, you come back with the 2 points in your back pocket, And it always seems a little bit nicer if you're going to split a weekend to salvage that win on night number 2.
Makes for a nicer trip home on Halloween, that's for sure. We haven't had a lot of 2-game sets, and
Anyway.
Yeah, we really haven't. Just 3 out of our 13 games, only 3 have been back-to-back, and I really think that's where you can see what your team is made of. And when you want to see what they're made of, you want to win that first one, and then let's see if you can be even better the second night, because the team that lost is going to have a little bit of fire to try to get that game back and try to make up for the night before. So this was the first time we were on the opposite end. We lost that first game, and it was nice to see the way the guys responded.
One other note on that defensive effort in that Friday contest, Dirk Skatliff was to my left up at the press row there as I'm calling the game, and I glanced down at his stat sheet at one point, and I noted that he had marked 21 blocked shots for the Wildcats to Corpus's 3 or 4, and I actually had to turn my headset down to ask him if that was accurate. Over 20 blocked shots through just over 2 periods of play certainly ties right back into the theme of more competitive hockey in your defensive zone. And one sour note out of that weekend here, John, is the loss of Jeff Baum. Baum scored his first career goal in that second period and then was defending fairly well in that second and third period paired with Jake Townsend, and took a dangerous hit from behind on the receiving end of a cross-check very close to the boards, and it was pretty apparent right away that he suffered a fairly serious injury, had to be helped from the ice. What updates can you share about Jeff's status?
Jeff's got a lower leg injury, and he'll be out for some time, and we're going to miss him. He played his best game of the year. It's tough for Jeff coming in, not being with us during training camp when you're trying to set the tempo of how we play and getting your systems in. But he did a really good job of asking questions and getting to know the guys, and so he's going to be well missed, that's for sure, and we hope that he heals up quickly.
And what plans do the Wildcats have to adjust the roster in his absence?
We're working on that as we speak.
Stay tuned to the Wildcats Twitter and Facebook for all the updates on that. All right, Wildcats Weekly presented by Armored Roofing rolls on. John, now we'll turn our attention to the weekend ahead. A big weekend at the K. Yeager Coliseum. Military Night presented by the Ford House on Saturday. 2 games against the arch-rival Amarillo Bulls, and an Amarillo squad that had won 3 of 4 heading into last weekend, John, but they were swept by a very strong Topeka squad. What can you expect from the Bulls this weekend?
Well, we played the one game against them, and I think we caught them at their lowest point in the year, and they certainly have been playing much better since then until this past weekend. But Topeka's making everybody obviously look like they're for real. So, like Topeka's for real, and they're having a way with everybody, including on the road. So, Amarillo is going to be a tough one because our guys have to realize it's not going to be the same team that we played. They've made a lot of changes. They're getting better offense. They're getting more shots. They're scoring more goals than they had, because it had been a pretty low-scoring team until these last 3 weekends. So we're going to have to fight for ice, because I know that they're going to put a game plan together to try to slow our offense down.
You've talked in the past about the Wildcats not showing enough respect to opponents. You mentioned it around the Lone Star Brahmas. You mentioned it last week, and actually earlier in this interview, John, in regards to the Corpus Christi ice race. Keeping in mind the 9-1 win that the Wildcats posted a couple weeks back in Amarillo, how do you ensure that your roster does not fail to give Amarillo the respect that they are due?
Well, we're doing everything we can to continue to improve, to continue to get better, and to focus on the fact that when we just play average defensively, when we don't focus and transition quick enough to defense, and play a little bit, we kind of call it poke and go, where we're hoping to get breakaways, hoping to have it easier on the offensive end. We're as good as anybody, but when we play where if the puck's turned over, we're back hard, and we have the same effort as we do offensively on the defensive side, then we're a pretty tough team to play against. So I think our guys are learning that lesson. It's been a couple of them along the way, a couple bumps that, and you learn from when things don't go your way, right? if we had nothing but wins, we probably wouldn't be as strong a team as we are, because that's when you learn the lessons that areas kind of creep into your game that don't let you have success. Rink turns when you should be stopping and getting back, communicating on the ice, not back checking to pick up your man with the effort that you need to, like you would on offense. So I think our guys have learned that they have to respect everybody, and I think they've learned those lessons the hard way, and hopefully we'll be able to not have to worry about respecting each opponent.
We'll see if that lesson has set in from this past week moving into this week against the Amarillo Bulls. John, last but not least here, before we let you get out of here, this weekend obviously is Military Weekend at the Kay Yeager Coliseum. This is your first year with the Wildcats, your first involvement with Military Appreciation Night. Coming into Wichita Falls and seeing what kind of military culture this town is, what are you most looking forward to out of this weekend here at the KYC?
Well, it's an unbelievable city. I keep saying people are friendly, people are courteous, and just people are genuine, salt of the earth. And obviously a big part of that is because of the military here. The character that these folks have, that our soldiers have and our military have, is unbelievable. And anything that you can do to help give back is small in what we should be doing, but you want to take advantage of being able to thank the military and show your appreciation, and certainly see it around town, just the character that our military have, and I hope that they can be honored the right way, and hope that they can be honored all the time.
All right. He's Coach LaFontaine. I'm Ben. Plenty more to come on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing, rolls on. Ben Horner with you, as now we'll take a look at what's been going on with those one-time Wildcats in our weekly alumni update. And we'll start right at the top of the game this week. In the NHL, defenseman Zach Trotman has been doing exactly what we said he had the opportunity to do when he was called up to fill in for Zdeno Chara on the Bruins blue line. Since being called up on October the 25th, Trotman has played in 4 games and has posted 2 assists, including his first career point on October the 28th against the Minnesota Wild. There's a lot of bruised and battered bodies on that Bruins blue line, so Trotman will continue to have an opportunity to showcase his skills in the coming weeks. At the NCAA level, it was a battle of a few different Wildcats alumni when the Air Force Academy Falcons traveled to Grand Forks to take on North Dakota. North Dakota came away with an overtime win. Tucker Pullman had a goal in that one, but in addition to that, Ben Kuchera and Will Vosepka each had solid showings as well, as they each picked up an assist. For Vosepka, that was his first career point at the NCAA level. On the East Coast, a one-time Wildcat, Dennis Krevchenko, has been turning heads for the UMass Minutemen. He picked up 2 goals and an assist against Maine in Game 1 of a 2-game set this week, and then the next night he continued on from that with another goal, giving him 4 points on the weekend. He now has 5 points in his last 3 games, as UMass posted a solid showing against the Maine Black Bears. That's the alumni update. Reminder, we'll check in with what's going on with all the Wildcats alumni throughout this season and bring you the noteworthy performances week to week. We'll be back with more on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing, just after this. Ben Horner with you on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing, as we continue. And as October fades into memory here in 2014 and we close the books on another month of action in the 2014-15 campaign, it's time to check out the best of the best from the month that was. Here now are the top 5 plays of October on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Starting us off at number 5, Cam Knight dangles his way through the D, then drives the net for the goal against the Jacks.
But a nice play here by Reisinger to find Knight. Here is Knight walking through the middle. Now it's Oakley. Oakley looking to center. They score! It's Cam Knight.
Coming in at number 4, Austin Shaw punches a pair of shots away to preserve a 2-1 lead against the Ice Rays.
Towards the slot. His shot saved by Shaw. Point blank again. Oh, what a glove save by Austin Shaw. Up to the point and Howe towards the net.
And at number 3, Max Reisinger picks up 3 goals against Amarillo for the Cats' first hat trick of the season.
Has it at his own blue line. Reisinger curls back, collects, gains his own. His shot score! Max Reisinger almost turned it over dangerously to the near side wall. Litviak first to it here. No harm, no foul as Reisinger will step forward. Toe drag. Shot score! Max Reisinger does it again. He'll shake it down low. Backdoor shot score! Hat trick for Max Reisinger. Pretty passing play. That'll be.
And at number 2, Austin Shaw reaches back to steal one against the Lone Star Brahmas.
Take it towards the net. Hansen with a one-timer. Toe save. Bowerman follows up. A rebound! And it doesn't go. Somehow Shaw with a huge stick save.
And finally, coming in at number 1, Nick Farmer goes it alone to beat the Brahmas in overtime.
We'll get it back. No harm, no foul. And started up the ice himself. Has Farmer to his left and uses him. Here's Farmer at the left wing wall. Charging towards the middle. Farmer in front. And they score! Nick Farmer in overtime. And the Cats win 3-2.
There you have it, the plays of the month for October here on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. A lot of good ones to choose from and a lot of hard decisions to make this month, that is sure. Well, we're getting ready to wrap it up here on Wildcats Weekly, but before we do, we got a whole lot of stuff to get your way and to let you know about for the weeks and month ahead. First and foremost, we've mentioned it a few times already, the Military Appreciation Weekend here at K. Yeager Coliseum this Friday and Saturday. On Friday, the Wildcats will unveil their 2014 limited edition military jerseys, and boy, do they look good. They just came into the office today. Here I am holding one of them up. You can see the red, white, and blue decking out the shoulder plates and the sleeves. A lot of good stuff here on this jersey. The Wildcats will be wearing them on Friday and Saturday night, and I've just found out that they will be wearing them on Tuesday, November the 11th as well. Get yourself to the KYC to see them in those jerseys as they take on Amarillo in those 3 games. So they'll debut these jerseys Friday night. Then Saturday night, it is the Ford House Military Appreciation Night. Anyone with valid military ID, including active or retired personnel, and their families will receive free admission when they show that valid ID at the KYC box office. Now, tickets are available already. You can head to the KYC anytime this week to reserve your tickets. If you have a big group that you're looking to bring out that night, give us a call in the office, 716-5587, and we can make sure that your whole group is seated together. We'll also, don't forget, have our jersey raffle after Saturday night's contest, and you won't be able to take the jerseys home with you, but we'll send those out the next week after the Wildcats wear them on Tuesday the 11th against Amarillo. One more note about that jersey raffle, by the way. Any personnel who are in uniform on Saturday evening will receive 5 free tickets to be entered into that jersey raffle. So don't feel shy about coming in uniform. Head over to the raffle table outside the concourse behind the PA booth, and you'll be able to pick up your raffle tickets and enter them into the 2014 jersey raffle. Moving on, this November sees the Wildcats team up with the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank for the Hockey Heals Hunger Campaign. The Wildcats have teamed up with the WFAFB, and from now until November 21st, we'll be collecting canned goods and non-perishable food items at home games throughout the month of November. Here's how it's going to work. Bring 3 non-perishable or canned food items to any Wildcats home game, and you will be entered into a raffle to win great Wildcats prizes, including a family 4-pack of tickets, a signed jersey, and much, much more. All you have to do is donate 3 items. Now, you can enter the raffle more than once. However, entries are limited to just 1 per game. So, you can bring 3 on Saturday the 8th, then turn around and bring 3 on Tuesday, November the 11th, and still be entered twice into that raffle. It's all going to culminate on Friday, November the 21st on Hockey Heals Hunger Night. On that night, when the Wildcats take on the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees, anyone who brings 5 non-perishable or canned goods will be given a voucher for a free ticket to that night's contest. That's right. Bring 5 non-perishable food items for donation to the WFAFB, Wichita Falls Area Food Bank, and you will receive free admission to that night's contests. Also this year, the Wildcats are pleased to announce the return of the Movember campaign. You might have noticed it going clean-shaven as we're kicking off Movember here. To be within the rules, you have to be clean-shaven on November 1st, as we will once again be sporting nasty mows throughout the entire month in our efforts to raise funds and awareness in the fight against prostate and testicular cancer and men's health initiatives, including mental health awareness. If you want to get involved, Be sure to find out how to on Facebook, Twitter, on our website. Last year, we raised over $3,000, the most of any team in the North American Hockey League, and lots of that was due to the support we got from our fans and from the Wichita Falls community. We raised $3,048 last year. We would love to double that output this year, but we're going to need your help. Go to WFWildcatsHockey.com for more information or find out all the info on Facebook and Twitter. Just find us on those channels at WF Wildcats. Reminder, our next home games are this Friday and Saturday against the Amarillo Bulls. They'll unveil the 2014 military jerseys on Friday night, and then Saturday is the Fort House Military Appreciation Night, as I was just mentioning a few moments ago. And don't forget our Veterans Day special on Tuesday, November the 11th. The Wildcats will be wrapping up their 3 games against Amarillo, and when we do, since it's Veterans Day, we'll have $5 admission for anyone with valid military ID, once again including active retired personnel and their families. If you have any questions about all of the info we've thrown your way, it's completely understandable. There's a whole lot of stuff going on this month, and we really want to make sure that you're a part of every little bit of it. Give us a call in the office. Our number here is 940-716-5587. You can also find us online, WFWildcatsHockey.com. And as always, find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WF Wildcats. So, until next week, I'm Ben Horner saying thanks so much for joining us on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Go Wildcats!